Hello, Sima. My name is Sudhir Srinivasan, and I'm the entertainment editor of the New Indian Express. It's a pleasure to have this conversation with you. I understand that this conversation is happening after the show has been nominated for an Emmy under the category Unstructured Reality Program. Now, what do you make of the nomination itself? And then you can also tell me what you make of this category.
So then I'm very happy that we have reached a 1-year mark of Indian matchmaking. And it's a double celebration because the show has been nominated in the Emmys. And Indian matchmaking, it has become very popular and top of all the towns since it's released last year. And the people have given me a lot of love and respect, and I have received immense love from everybody. And I'm very happy that I'm very thankful and grateful to my fans. And wherever I go, they just love me, give me love and respect that Sima auntie has come. Just I was in Bangalore 2 days before. Wherever I go, the people really, they are loving me and respecting me. That Sima auntie has come. And the concept of matchmaking has changed with the youngsters also.
Right.
So,
right.
to us, really, it has rocked the world. And in every town and in every city, country, people have loved me.
Are you able to get a lunch for yourself without getting mobbed?
I have, but to some extent. That's
okay,
all.
right.
Whenever I go to airport here, love Venice. We loved you so much in the show because of your sincerity and everything, and people have loved me. Picture to banta hai everywhere. Wherever I go, one picture to banta hai everywhere. 2 days before, Adani had taken this GVK airport, so I was in the airport. So all that new staff, they were all crazy. They had clicked the picture, danced for me at the airport. So by that, I can feel that how much they are loving and respecting.
In the show, you mentioned that you're a matchmaker for high-profile clients mainly, right? And I ask you this because what was different about doing your job in front of the camera, and convincing these clients that their lives would get televised for the entire world?
Yeah. First,
you
we had to
okay. Was that hard?
On the screen. Then Netflix does their background check and filter and scan and all, and then they're on the show.
Was it bizarre for you to do your job in front of the camera, to probably repeat some of your dialogues, to shoot it a certain way? And
I was natural, Sudhir. I don't know any. Just the camera was following me. That's all. The way Sima Taparia is talking with you is the same what it was on the show. So it was unscripted, no dialogue. So I was natural. Everything was coming inside me from me. How I meet the client, the same thing I was doing on the show. And I was not doing it on the show. I feel it's a natural thing what I was talking to them. And and the camera was just following me.
One of the things that, one of the revelations, there were many revelations. It was entertaining, it was amusing, and it was also slightly, well, for people like me, slightly scary also, in the sense that because it establishes firmly that casteism isn't really limited by national borders anymore. Is there a concern that the popularity of such a show on a global level could reinforce such practices that encourage people to marry within their community, within their clan, and make it seem like an acceptable, normal thing?
See, Sudhir, I think you have watched the show that in US, that was not the problem. I met some Bengal, it was not a casteism problem at all there. But in India, it is up to some extent community thing. Because in India, the thinking is that if you marry in the same community, a lot of problems get solved. Like many things, like the thinking, the food habits, the behavior, the thought process, and both the religion, and both the families are strong when they marry, arrange marriage in the same community. They have a strong hold. So that is there. But in India also, now the things are changing. So it's not the same thing.
Oh, you find that people are open to this? I asked you this only because I wondered if a lot of people would look at this and say, see, I was perfectly right about wanting to marry within the community. Lots of people are doing this. We should also do this, probably reinforce these ideas, because I'm sure you are aware, Seema, that the more, marrying within caste usually is to retain the power of individual castes, right? Because once you marry out of it, then, you let other people also climb up and it becomes a more even space. As long as you don't do that, you stay at a certain level and you keep the other communities at a certain level. So I thought I should ask you your thoughts on it.
It is still there up to some extent, because I will not lie, this is the fact that people want to marry in their community. So it is their personal individual thought. So how ask me to work, I work according to that.
Okay. How hard? I mean, you previously worked for A Suitable Girl as well with the same director. Was this show harder though, because you take center stage here, and it's sort of about you?
No, in Suitable Girl also everything was normal. The shooting was 4 years. Smriti Mudra was there with me 4 years, and when my daughter got married, then the show was, the end when she got married. So that was also enjoyed, and it was natural, and it was a reality thing. Each and everything was reality in Suitable Girl, and the same thing is in this. Each and every dialogue is reality. The fact is reality, and my thinking, the way of, Indian values, what they have portrayed me in this show, that everything is real. The way what Sima Taparia is there, they have portrayed their values, Indian values. So if some people say Orthodox, it's okay, but that is my Indian values. That what I've told in the show. To be the life smooth and to go it smoothly, I've my Indian values and my Indian thought. And for thousands of years, this thing is going on, and in future also it will be going on. So that I've not done anything wrong, and just my Indian values have shown.
I think off the top of my head, one of the values that you spoke of, one of the values is that I think compromise is a word that you mentioned, right? At several times in the show. And I think this came in for a fair bit of debate, whether this was useful, this was not. And, there was a fair bit of conversation about it. What do you make of that?
See, Sudhir, out of 100 crores of population, at least some 400, 500 people will tell, because there are positives also and negatives also. You tell me where we need everywhere compromise. You're not doing in your office, in your life, family life, or anywhere, a little compromise is very necessary. I simply tell, when we are sitting at the airport and when you tell that the flight is late, what do you do? If the flight is late for 3 hours, what do you do? You have to adjust and sit there, have a cup of coffee, read, talk to people, because you know that the flight is going up to 3 hours. And that is a small way of compromising and little adjust for this. Then when this is there, why don't you do in a family life? So I have the real fact that if you want a happy married life, both husband and wife have to little adjust and compromise. When you do there, why don't you do in your own life, in your family?
Right. I think the problem with how it's interpreted and often executed in our country is that it seems to me that mostly women are tasked. I mean, being a woman yourself, I'm sure you could probably vouch for it. Women are encouraged from from they're very small to compromise in ways that the men are usually not, right? So typically it ends up being an arrangement where the woman puts up with so much more, probably abuse of all sorts of varieties. And, the more statistics we read about this, the more dangerous it seems to be. And then I think that seems to be the problem when it comes to how it's applied in the Indian context.
See, Sudhir, in Indian Matchmaking episode 4,
right.
I have told Vyasa, you can see that, I have told Vyasa that even men have to compromise, not only ladies. And men have to compromise. Why only this? Because when both will compromise, then only the things will go ahead. And I've told both of them have to compromise. I've told Vyasa in episode 4 about this.
Right.
Male and female both have to compromise.
Right. Okay. So overall, I perceived Indian matchmaking as a fairly strong advertisement for arranged marriages. Would I be wrong in assuming that?
Netflix just want to show what is the process of arranged marriage. That's all. They want to show the world. Okay. And they never told what is happening to this couple and that couple, that the whole world just wants to talk about that. But just Netflix was that the aim was to show arranged marriages. That this is the arranged, and they have taken me. So I have portrayed all my Indian values in that. If some 1% people say Sima auntie is Orthodox, it's okay, I'm Orthodox. But what is the real fact of life? This is the way you are to be little flexible, little give love and respect to each other, male partner and female, and little compromise and adjustment is a fact of life. To go life smoothly, then the life it will go smoothly without any divorces or any problems, any fights or anything. So that
Tell me this, Sima. I mean, with the show being as popular, do you think because the show is about arranged marriages, about how they're done as far as Indians are concerned, do you think the show missed out on some opportunities to probably also red flag some important issues surrounding arranged marriages? I mean, because I don't believe it spoke about, for example, the problem of dowry or how women usually don't have a big choice. In your show, of course, quite a few women seem to be independent, and they seem to be given a fair amount of choice. At least, if I remember, at least one or two of them mainly living in the West, if I'm not wrong. Same caste marriages, and do you suppose it could have also been a good opportunity to point out that, hey, so these are problems in arranged marriages, and we hope that we can solve them going forward in the future, because I didn't see any of them being even pointed at or laughed at or mocked at in the show.
So nowadays there is no dowry problem at all. What I'm dealing with thousands of clients, there is no dowry problem. Just so we have not shown in the show. That was, I think it was before 10.
You're talking about your clientele, Sima, here?
Yeah, there is no dowry problem. What dealing with some thousands of clients, I never had dowry problem. So, and what I've shown that in arranged marriage, they give a menu that Sima auntie, we want this, we want this, we want this. And I have to work according to their choices and preferences. That's the thing. So I'm working according to that. So I tell everybody, if 70% you're agreeing what I'm giving, somebody wants looks, somebody wants brain, somebody wants family values. I always tell my clients, first family values, then upbringing is very important. You see that first. Then the other things come. Then the beauty comes, then the brain comes, and then the city comes. Nowadays, people prefer cities also. So I tell all my clients that if 70%, if you see you're fulfilling all these things, you should proceed. 100% nobody has got. So whatever is there, you see, give the importance first. What you want. You want from a good family upbringing, that is very important. Family values are very, very important. I give the first number one for family values. If the family values are good, then only everything goes smoothly. Then comes the education, then the beauty, and then the wavelength and all. So I always tell my clients, the two people's wavelength can never match, the chemistry can never match. The reason is, two own brothers and own sisters don't match. How can the two people from the two mothers' womb can match? So always I tell them. So that is the way the compromise and adjustment comes. Like
right. The reason I asked you about this dowry thing itself was because there's a good chance that people around the world are going to look at it and think that this is the perfect example of how an arranged marriage takes place in India, right? But they may not realize that this is how Seema's clients are.
But
so it does seem to me that Netflix has the responsibility to, or the director. I'm not saying it is entirely your fault. I'm saying at least the people behind the making of the show must have taken some ownership over it and said, you know what, we should also show this, so people don't get a wrong idea of false idea of what an average arranged marriage is in the country. So that's why I wondered. I mean, that's why I thought I should ask you.
Because it was not in my way of working. So Netflix followed me. And the camera was just following me, that's all. So
I see.
Then I didn't have problems. So how can I portray in the show?
Okay. Right. I have a couple of questions for you. We're almost done here. Would you be willing to, do you take on same-sex marriages as well?
No.
You don't? Okay. Is that because it's illegal in our country yet, or?
It's there, and I will not do it. This, so it's illegal also, and it has never come in my mind, and I think I'm not comfortable.
As a final question, how hopeful are you about an Emmy win, and and what would that mean to you?
I'm very much, happy that Netflix has been gone in the Emmy this nominees, and it was a double celebration. Then it's got nominated, and after the show has completed 1 year and the nomination at Emmy Awards, it has added celebration in my life. And the journey of Indian matchmaking was a very special and close to my heart, and it feels great that it's recognized alongside some of the best global titles. So I'm very happy that this show has gone in Emmy Awards and they have considered it.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much for this conversation, and I hope all this attention that you get can definitely be put to some good use in terms of popularizing our notion of what an arranged marriage is. Thank you so much, Seema, for talking to me.
Thank you, Sudhir.